Today I will demonstrate weaving in ends in Fair Isle. Weaving in ends in Fair Isle is just the same as weaving in tails at a color change, because that is all that is happening in Fair Isle, color change. So we will approach it the exact same way. I have some Fair Isle here. What I like to do first is identify my tails and orient them in the direction that they should be woven. So this yellow will need to be woven in this direction. That is the direction it would have been traveling before the color change. And the green will go this way. And then my next tails are up here, and the green came from that direction. The purple goes this way, the green goes this way. Now for this one that was the changing of a ball, I will need to look more closely to figure out which direction which tail needs to go, so I'll save that one for a little bit later. So if I start with the yellow, I will be going in this direction. So for weaving in tails in Fair Isle, I don't necessarily worry so much about anchoring it to its neighbor, like the video for tail weave at a color change showed. And that's because I'm going to weave in this direction anyway, and that will open the base of this stitch up, and that's what's being accomplished by weaving that tail into the neighboring stitch. So instead, I will pull it to the side. I kind of look to see that that stitch is sized okay, and I'm not pulling too tightly. And then I find another yellow stitch that I can stitch into. So right here is the next one. So I do duplicate stitch on top of another yellow stitch. Like so, and then find, and it can be in the same row or it can be a row above. I tend to go in the same row. This Fair Isle has some pretty long stretches between stitches, so I'll make sure I don't pull too tightly. And I will just duplicate stitch, right, like that. And that should be secure enough. And then for the green, I tug a little bit, but not too tightly. And then I go across. And I think I'll use this green stitch. And then this one. Like so. And that should be secure enough there. Then this green needs to go this direction. This is the tail from a solid green row of knitting, so there are more stitches to be had closer together. So I'll go let's see, right here. which is the row above, but because I'm moving in this direction, that opens up the base of that stitch just fine. It doesn't matter that I've moved up a row. And since these are closer together, I'll do about 3 or so weaves, and that should be secure enough. So those have been woven. Here is the location of those tail weaves on the right side. So the yellow was woven up here, and the green was woven up here, and another green was woven up here, and you cannot see where those tails were woven. I leave these tails at my color change quite long so that I can accommodate weaving only in the same color stitches, moving in the opposite direction. And if your color work pattern is such that you have very short floats, then you could keep these tails a little bit shorter. But I am following a pattern that has some quite long floats in sections, so I will err on the side of keeping these tails quite long, just to give me the most flexibility in my tail weaves. So that is how I approach weaving in tails in Fair Isle knitting. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.